Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and Mayor and Council-elect. Welcome to the inaugural meeting of the City of Nanaimo Council for the 2014 through 2018 term of office. I now call the meeting to order. Please welcome Raymond Salgado to the microphone for the singing of our national anthem, O Canada.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all our sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God, keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you, Mr. Salgado. I'd like to acknowledge that we are on the traditional lands of the Nanaimo First Nation, and it is now my pleasure to introduce Chief John Wesley of the Nanaimo First Nation, as well as Elder Manson.
Siem Muxwed Mistimo and the Pechal Sibo, the needs and nuts Nemo, and the Mana, eat and the safe Kalak, eat and the Clintonard, nee, he looks squallowing at the Khanet. Siem squallowings, eat hew stat, eat and the Shasiem Mistimo. I want to start this night off with the room hearing our language. It's a very exciting day for our people. My traditional name is Khal Semo. Very excited, our members sitting here today, to have one of our members sitting with this important table here today. Very honored to be here. A new step in our history today, and we're all excited about that. I want this council to remember who trained him. I'm going to start off with our plea and have everybody stand and open yourselves up and play in your own way. I'm going to ask for a little special plea. As all of you know, in this community, we lost one of our members the other day to a fire. And I ask a little bit of extra spiritual help for that family. But the song I'm going to sing is called Titi Wattle. And Titi Wattle in our language means working together. And halfway through, I'll do a prayer. Oh, teachers siem. Haichka tanequel. Si humula lemisit takekalis. Eaten a cocky bestimo tanequel. Haichka is the cape. Eaten is the name of eaten. The name of Sashiemi. Titi wat scholar when it in a quail. Teachers siem. The humute with all was a ton of quail. Eat mook squeals.
Thank you, Chief Wesley and Elder Manson. And now, the Reverend Brian Evans for the blessing.
Your Worship, Bear McKay, members of council, citizens of the city of Nanaimo, and the people of Sinemo. As we gather this evening, I am honored once again to pray for you, our council, to pray for our city, and to pray for each one of us, brothers and sisters together. Let us pray. We come before you, O Lord, tonight in the midst of a community which has existed for many generations, a community which is flourishing, a community which is changing. In our business community, some of the resources of the past are giving way to a new and exciting future with incredible diversity. In the midst of this diversity also brings strained relationships between peoples, where we have differences between war and peace, between wealth and food, which challenge the unity you call for in the Spirit of God. We acknowledge this both as gift and challenge. We know and give thanks in your name this evening for the potential we see among each one of these people gathered before us this evening. The potential for the people of this community, our business community, our education community, manufacturing, and all commercial enterprises. We have given this mayor and council a great gift, and they have promised to care for this gift with the greatest of sacrifice on their part. We give thanks for their vocation to this political office they will hold for the ensuing 4 years. We give thanks for the support and sacrifice of family, workplaces, and friends who will uphold them at all times in serving. The vocation to servanthood is one of the greatest responsibilities we can hold, and so we ask for your countenance for all who will uphold these women and men in fulfilling the duties and responsibilities to which they have been called to serve. We give thanks for the many gifted people of this community who are working to bring new and innovative ideas, and for those who are working to give new life to the present economy. And we ask your prayer for this mayor and council as they will listen and be called upon to make decisions for the welfare of all peoples. Almighty God, as we live on this land, in this community, may you remind us we live in a global climate which continues to challenge us, a world in which there is deep engagement by many peoples, a world which in the midst of great diversity, there are many differences. May you guide this mayor and council as they will be called upon to make difficult decisions, decisions which may not always be fashionable or well-liked. Almighty God, we entrust you the care of this mayor and council in the immense commitment they are making on our behalf for the next 4 years. May we all know and understand in this commitment we can always be comforted by those for whom we take counsel. Those who take counsel with, who we agree, but also must walk with those who we may be at difference with, and find reconciliation and resolve. May they and all the peoples of this community, with the guidance of your Spirit, understand our first call is to be one. For in being one, this city will continue to grow and flourish. And so we ask now for your blessing on this new council, mayor and councilors of the city of Nanaimo. And in asking your blessing, may we each endeavor to bring unity in the midst of our diversity with a spirit of listening, so that our city of Nanaimo may continue to be an example for others, bringing right relations among all people and equality among genders, peace in the midst of differences, understanding in the sharing of the balance between wealth and food. And may your guidance be ever present in the midst of all their undertakings. This we ask in your name. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend. Nanaimo's poet laureate, Naomi Beth Walken, is unable to attend this evening, but sends her regrets. And she will be attending a future council meeting for the poem.
He did.
Council may have a seat if you choose. You take the mayor's
He
lead.
said the mayor could sit.
So we will now hear some welcoming remarks from our MLA, Leonard Krogh.
Good evening, everyone. Firstly, I want to recognize that we are on the traditional territory of the Nanaimo First Nations, who literally 160 years ago in a few days welcomed the Princess Royal settlers to this city, and it hasn't always been a happy history. But I am confident that this council will continue the good work of the previous council in bringing about true reconciliation in our community. You know, we are celebrating another election in Nanaimo. I like celebrating elections as opposed to remembering the ones you've lost. That's a joke. You can laugh a little. I'm not too serious tonight. And I've lost a few. Having said that, we just elected a council that didn't require guns in the street. No one was arrested. No one's gone to jail. No one bought any votes. Well, maybe a little money was spent in the campaign, but no one bought any votes. So we have elected a new council in a peaceable kingdom called Canada in a lovely city called Nanaimo, and I'm delighted to see so many of you out here tonight participating in the civic life of this community. I want to offer my congratulations to Mayor McKay, to all the councillors who've been re-elected, to the new councillors in particular, to recognize that they've been given an honor and a privilege that is only bestowed on a few citizens at any given time in this community. I want also to recognize those who have served in this community over the last few years who, for either by personal decision or as a result of the voters' decisions, are retired now for a little while. And I'll recognize them in alphabetical order: Councillor Anderson, Councillor Johnston, and Councillor Patchy. We owe them a round of applause at this point. And Councillor Ted Greaves. God, I left Ted out. Is he here? Thank God. And I want to recognize and thank Mayor Rattan for his years of service to this community. The old hands up here know what political life is like. The fresh ones are going to get a wonderful inauguration. Suddenly, your neighbors aren't just your neighbors and friends, they are supplicants and critics, depending on what they're coming to you to propose or ask for. I encourage all of you to do as Mark Twain once observed many years ago: use your ears and your mouth in the way the good Lord intended. Listen twice as much as you talk. That's a very important lesson in politics, because if you listen, you'll actually learn a great deal. This is a wonderful city. I am proud to represent this city in the legislature. and I expect that council will observe with the same dignity and pride that I hope I bring to the office, that they will bring to the office over the next few years, over the next 4 years now, with the new and longer term. We're lucky to have a good functioning city. It has a great and bright future based on the reconciliation that I talked about earlier. I look forward to working with this council. I welcome them all to office. Congratulations. Good luck. You've got 4 years to create a few miracles, fulfill your promises, keep your commitment, and most of all, and I advise this strongly as a fellow who's been married for 41 years, keep your relationships together. They're the people who'll be there to greet you at the end of the day, whether you succeed in the next election or not. Thank you very much.
And now Chief John Wesley with a few words.
Thank you, Chris. Wow, I just remembered a number of years ago when we started this process. We didn't get off on the right foot, did we? And I think I see the former mayor sitting in the crowd here when we started this process maybe 20 years ago. And, you know, that was a lot of fun then. You know, we come a long way, you know, to prove a lot of things. We're working together for one common goal. You know, the bigger picture is Nanaimo and Nanaimo working together to create some opportunities together so that we can succeed together. You know, it's been a long time. Now we got an ally. Billy Yoakum is there, so. But I'm proud of Billy. He run in the mayor and council, and he made it. I congratulate him, along with everybody else, the new mayor. You know, I'm working with the old mayor. It was great. You know, I wish you well, all the outgoing councilors too as well. You know, it was great working with everybody. I've been back, seems like 9-10 months, and now now the mayor and council had a change as well as chief and council. But you know, it's about working together and achievements for Nanaimo in the bigger picture and for our people in Nanaimo. You know, we always bring our elders wherever we go, and we have them start us off, you know, so that we get off on the right foot. You know, and once again, I'd like to wish well to the outgoing mayor and council, and wish well to the new mayor and council, and congratulations, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Wesley. And now the Honorable Judge Callan will come forward for the oaths of office.
Chief Wesley, Honorable Member of the Legislative Assembly, Leonard Krogh, Mayor-elect McKay, honored guests, and ladies and gentlemen. It's my privilege and honor to be here to do this swearing in. I think I've been doing it since 1993, and it's always an exciting occasion to see our people go forward, and I think local politics is the bedrock of our nation in many ways, and I really appreciate the job that people have done here and are going to be doing here. The oath of office that you will have today is quite a bit more complex than the oath that one sees in court. I'll be asking the council-elect and the mayor-elect to come forward in order. They will recite the oath to you publicly, and that will be done in the order of the mayor-elect first, then in order of seniority of the council members, and with respect to the new council members, it'll be done alphabetically. So with that being said, I would ask Mayor-elect McKay to please come forward. Congratulations, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Go ahead. Great. I, William Bruce McKay, do solemnly affirm that I am qualified to hold the office of mayor for the city of Nanaimo, to which I have been elected. I have not by myself or any other person knowingly contravened the Local Government Act respecting vote buying or intimidation in relation to my election to the office. I will faithfully perform the duties of my office, and I will not allow any private interest to influence my conduct in public matters. As required by the community charter, I will disclose any direct or indirect pecuniary interest I may have in a matter and will not participate in the discussion of that matter and will not vote in respect of the matter.
Thank you, Mayor McKay.
Thank you.
Would you please sign your copy?
Thank you very much.
If I'd ask Mayor Ratan to please come forward at this time for the formal passing of the chain of office.
Well, did I miss my hair up?
Your hair looks fine, John.
Thank you very much. Let me get this. Congratulations.
Mayor McKay will be addressing the audience later in the program, but at this time, I would ask for Councillor William Leslie Bestwick to please come forward. Councillor Bestwick, would you please recite the oath of office?
Thank you. I, William Leslie Bestwick, do solemnly affirm that I am qualified to hold the office of councillor for the city of Nanaimo, to which I have been elected. I have not, by myself or any other person, knowingly contravened the Local Government Act respecting vote buying or intimidation in relation to my election to the office. I will faithfully perform the duties of my office and will not allow any private interest to influence my conduct in public matters. As required by the community charter, I will disclose any direct or indirect pecuniary interest I have in a matter and will not participate in the discussion of the matter and will not vote in respect of the matter.
Thank you, Councillor Bestwick. Would you please sign the oath of office?
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Next, I would ask Councillor-elect James Anthony Kipp to please come forward. Councillor Kipp, would you please recite the oath of office?
Yes. I, James Anthony Kipp, do solemnly affirm that I am qualified to hold office of councillor for the city of Nanaimo, to which I have been elected. I have not, by myself or any other person, knowingly contravened the Local Government Act respecting vote buying or intimidation in relation to my election to the office. I will faithfully perform my duties of my office and will not allow any private interest to influence my conduct in public matters. As required by the community charter, I will disclose any direct or indirect pecuniary interest I have in a matter and will not participate in the discussion of the matter and will not vote in respect of the matter. Affirmed before me this day.
Yes, thank you very much. And please sign your original.
For you.
Congratulations, Jim. And next, I'd please ask Councillor-elect Margaret Diane Brennan to come forward. Councillor Brennan, would you please recite the oath of office?
I, Margaret Diane Brennan, do solemnly affirm that I am qualified to hold the office of councillor for the city of Nanaimo, to which I have been elected. I have not, by myself or any other person, knowingly contravened the Local Government Act respecting vote buying or intimidation in relation to my election to the office. I will faithfully perform the duties of my office and will not allow any private interest to influence my conduct in public affairs. As required by the community charter, I will disclose any direct or indirect pecuniary interest I have in a matter and will not participate in the discussion of the matter and will not vote in respect of the matter.
Thank you, Councillor Brennan. Please sign your original. Moving on to our newer councillors, starting first with Councillor Gordon William Fuller. Councillor Fuller, would you please recite the oath of office?
I, Gordon William Fuller, do solemnly affirm that I am qualified to hold the office of councillor for the city of Nanaimo, to which I have been elected. I have not, by myself or any other person, knowingly contravened the Local Government Act respecting vote buying or intimidation in relation to my election to office. I will faithfully perform the duties of my office and will not allow any private interest to influence my conduct in public affairs. As required by the public matters, sorry about that. As required by the community charter, I will disclose any direct or indirect pecuniary interest I have in a matter and will not participate in the discussion of the matter and will not vote in respect of the matter.
Thank you, Councillor Fuller. Would you please sign your copy? Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Next, I'll call upon Councillor-elect Jerry Hong. Congratulations, Jerry. Councillor Hong, would you please read the oath of office?
I, Jerry Hom, do solemnly affirm that I am qualified to hold the office of councillor for the city of Nanaimo, to which I have been elected. I have not, by myself or any other person, knowingly contravened the Local Government Act respecting vote buying or intimidation in relation to my election to the office. I will faithfully perform the duties of my office and will not allow any private interest to influence my conduct in public matters. As required by the community charter, I will disclose any direct or indirect pecuniary interest I have in a matter and will not participate in the discussions of the matter and will not vote in respect to the matter.
Thank you, Constable Hong. Would you please sign your copy? Next, I'd ask Councillor-elect Wendy Lynn Pratt to please come forward and take the oath of office. Councillor Platt, would you please read the oath of office?
Thank you. I, Wendy Lynn Pratt, do solemnly affirm that I am qualified to hold the office of councillor for the city of Nanaimo, to which I have been elected. I have not, by myself or any other person, knowingly contravened the Local Government Act respecting vote buying or intimidation in relation to my election to the office. I will faithfully perform the duties of my office and will not allow any private interest to influence my conduct in public matters. As required by the community charter, I will disclose any direct or indirect pecuniary interest I have in any matter and will not participate in the discussion of the matter and will not vote in respect to the matter.
Thank you very much, Councillor.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Next, I would ask Councillor-elect Ian William Thorpe to please come forward. Councillor Thorpe, would you please read the oath of office?
I, Ian William Thorpe, do solemnly affirm that I am qualified to hold the office of councillor for the city of Nanaimo, to which I have been elected. I have not, by myself or any other person, knowingly contravened the Local Government Act respecting vote buying or intimidation in relation to my election to the office. I will faithfully perform the duties of my office and will not allow any private interest to influence my conduct in public matters. As required by the community charter, I will disclose any direct or indirect pecuniary interest I have in a matter and will not participate in the discussion of the matter and will not vote in respect of the matter.
Thank you, Councillor Thorpe. Would you please sign the oath of office? Congratulations.
Thanks, Doug, very much.
And finally, it's a great pleasure, I'd ask William Milton Yoakum to please come forward and take the oath of office. Councillor Yocum, would you please read the oath of office?
I, William Milton Yocum, do solemnly affirm that I am qualified to hold the office of councillor for the city of Nanaimo to which I have been elected. I have not, by myself or any other person, knowingly contravened the Local Government Act respecting vote buying or intimidation in relation to my election to the office. I will faithfully perform the duties of my office and will not allow any private interest to influence my conduct in public matters. As required by the community charter, I will disclose any direct or indirect precautionary interests I have in a matter and will not participate in any discussion of the matter and will not vote in respect of the matter.
Thank you very much, Councillor Yocum. Would you please sign your copy of the oath?
Thank you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your duly sworn council. Thank you.
Thank you. So again, please join me in congratulating the council for the city of Nanaimo for the 2014 through 2018 term of office. And now I am very pleased to hand over the chair to your worship, Mayor McKay.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jackson. Thank you. And you've done a great job so far. Councillor Bestwick whispered in my ear, do they think we're leaving now? Is that why they're standing up? So the first thing we want to do, first order of business, is we want to provide a very small token, a gift to our outgoing council. And we want to do so to recognize their either single term or multiple terms. This group was really quite unbelievable. The amount of work they did, they are to be commended. And I want to just give them a very small token of our appreciation. I would like to start with the outgoing councillor, George Anderson. No more passing any notes. There you go. Thank you very much. You certainly may.
So,
A couple of words?
just a few. There's really big writing. Well, it's one of the last times that you're all going to have to sit here and actually listen to me, and so I thought I'd take this opportunity to make sure that you all did. And so, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, staff, my colleagues, and the new mayor and council. Thank you all for being here tonight, and first of all, I want to thank the community for the opportunity to be able to serve. It has been a wonderful opportunity with ups and downs, is how I'll put it, and I can tell you that it's been absolutely tremendous. To the staff in our community as well, thank you for your hard work in ensuring that we had the high levels of service that we did. And to QP and IAFF, though our council didn't always agree on issues, it's because of your hard work to ensure that we have the standards that we do within our community. And to my campaign team, the individuals that worked so hard to get me elected, I thank you all for your tireless work on my behalf, to my friends, and lastly, to my family, to my brothers and sisters who were there in my corner when things were difficult, and also for the great times as well. And lastly, I would say to my mom and dad. My parents' experiences and hard work taught me to be hopeful for the future and to persevere in difficult times and to always be determined in order to accomplish my goals. And this is one of the things that were made possible thanks to them. And just a round of applause. Thank you, Mom and Dad. 3 years ago, when I went out to the doorsteps and I talked to many of you asking for your vote, I heard a variety of different things about the values and hopes that you wanted for our community. I heard that you wanted better services. I heard that you wanted more parkland. I heard that you wanted reduced taxes. And I can tell you that the things that I went forward to try and expose was that I wanted to stop our community from having a north-south divide, that I wanted to make sure that we had councillors who were willing to listen and respond to our residents, not meaning that we would agree on every issue, but that there would be an evidence-based policy approach to how we did our governance in the city. And that furthermore, we wouldn't be making decisions just based on pure emotion. And lastly, that we would all come together to build upon a collective vision that our community could be proud of. And I think that we accomplished that in this term. Often when I would go around and I'd speak to different individuals in the community, I'd speak to a variety of young people across the community. I spoke to many high schools and individuals, and I'd ask them, what's the most important level of government? And often I would hear the federal government, sorry Leonard, but the provincial government as well, and rarely I'd ever hear that local government was extremely important to them. And from my time in office, I've come to believe that local government is the most important level of government. How many of you have walked on our roads? How many of you have walked on sidewalks? How many of you have used water? How many of you have used services that local government provides? Everyone uses services that our local government provides. It does not matter where you're from. These essential services are provided by local government, whether it's police, fire, or the parks that we enjoy. Individuals live in cities, people work, they go to business, they shop, they find entertainment, they recreate in parks and open spaces in cities, and local government provides these services that our communities expect, such as roads, sewers, sidewalk, and water. Day-to-day life, for the most part, is lived within a particular neighborhood, a set of neighborhoods, or a city or urban region. For me, there was some accomplishments that I felt quite proud about. Our e-town hall that we did. We also looked at affordable housing, the creation of the Nanaimo Youth Advisory Council, the addition of 8,500 new transit hours, a complete streets policy that talked about making sure that streets were there for all people, not just for cars, and our transportation master plan that will guide the city for the next 25 years. Local government has some difficulties that are ahead of them, and fortunately, you guys will be the ones who will be dealing with them over the next 4 years.
Point of order.
You can do that, Councillor Kipp, if you'd like. I'll make sure to come back to council meetings and do that for you if you so please. But as I mentioned, there are some serious difficulties ahead of us. And they are in regards to asset management. It's so often that we hear that that we want more and more services, but we don't want to pay for them. How many of you have been to Maffeo Sutton Park? How many of you have been to Oliver Woods? How many of you have used transit? And the common thread between all of these things is that they cost money, and they're paid for with taxes. And as I mentioned, everyone wants more for less. And consistently, unfortunately, there is some more pages, so I'll be done soon. But whether it's recreation or services, that it's important that we make sure that we pay for these services wisely. And I can tell you, during my time in office, I've never heard anyone come up to me and say, the first thing I do when I look to move to a new community is I look at the last year's tax rate. Services cost money, but the reason people move to communities is because of the quality of life that our cities provide. And in my opinion, this council, under the leadership of Mayor Rattan, has done exactly that in making sure that we had investments in economic development arts and cultures, parks and open spaces, and transportation improvements. We can look to other communities such as Quebec and look at the Champlain Bridge that's falling down, dams that are deteriorating in British Columbia, and we need to make sure that we put these things as the first priorities. To the 26th Council, I just would leave you with a couple of remarks, and that we've left you with a strong foundation to make our community a better place. You're the decision makers for our community over the next 4 years, and our citizens have entrusted you with that responsibility and the responsibility to develop positive change for our community. And just a quote from Robert Kennedy, in that this world demands the qualities of youth, not in a time of life, but in a state of mind, a temper of will, a quality of imagination, a predominance of courage over timidity, of the appetite for adventure over the love of ease. You were all elected to represent our community. Our community voted for you based on the values that you proposed. There will be times when your views conflict with the public, but remember the values that guided you when you were elected. I'm almost...
Excuse me, is Joe Stanhope in the room? Did you bring your timer, Joe?
Nanaimo is a city with a lot of potential, and if we're able to embrace that change, we will be able to realize our potential. Quand mon temps de la vie publique est fini, je sais une chose, je ne regrette rien. As my time in political life comes to a brief close, I leave public life with my head held high, with a greater belief in government. As I mentioned, Nanaimo has immense potential, and I thank you all for your help and your commitment to our community and making sure that Nanaimo is headed in the right direction. Thank you all.
Well, thank you, Councillor Anderson. I would next like to thank Councillor Ted Greaves. And if Councillor Greaves would come. I'm afraid Councillor Greaves is not here. Thank you. One of my favorites, the lady of our previous council. She's one of the loveliest people and the hardest working that I have ever met and had the pleasure of working with, Councillor Diana Johnstone. I regret to inform you that Councillor Anderson has used up all your time.
But I will say a couple of words.
Thank you.
I didn't prepare a speech, but I just wanted to say thank you to all of you for your confidence in me over the past 6 years. Thank you to my friends and my family. One of my favorite parts of council was a lot of the civic duties that we went out and performed, and I just have to share with you, I think one of my first ones that John was very kind to allow me to do, and that was, John, if you remember, and Fred, you were there as well, it was the RCM Police musical ride, and two of my favorite Mounties are standing on the stage tonight, so that makes it even better. At any rate, I was given the duty of allowing or going out and permitting the musical ride to ride in our beautiful Bevan Park. And I wasn't pre-warned that I had to say something, so this gorgeous Mountie came up on his lovely steed and bounced his horse up to me, and I said, "Oh, well, you can ride your horses now." Anyway, it was a little bit of a faux pas, but I got a few laughs. Don't be afraid, new councils, to ask those silly questions. I had fun doing that, and nobody makes fun of you but your own colleagues, and they never let you forget that. I asked my share of them, and good luck to all of you, and God bless you. And John, especially to you, you've been the best mayor. And I see Mayor Corpin here tonight, and I congratulate Gary on all the years he's been, and wonderful Graham Roberts, Mayor previous. So it's nice to see you here tonight, and good luck to the new council. And I hope that you're able to balance that pendulum of not raising the taxes too much and keeping that quality of life that we all love so much.
The respect we have for Councillor Johnstone is evidenced by the people that are still here. There was only one other person on council that worked as hard as she did, and I like to call him my friend. We thought originally that we would have a real challenge working with each other, but over the course of 3 years, we gained quite an incredible respect for each other. We both did our homework, we bounced ideas off each other. I would like to ask Councillor Pache to come forward and receive a small gift. And look at the bounce in his step now.
Well, it's big. It's big. Thank you. Now, I'll be really short. I first of all, of course, want to thank the people of Nanaimo for the incredible opportunity of having served for 6 years. There really is no better way to get to know your community than by way of a councillor's job, I can assure you that. It's been an incredibly good time for myself, to a large extent, I think, for the city as well. This past year was not easy in some aspects, but we have those ups and downs, and I'm over it. I hope you are. I'm going to leave you with just 2 little things, points of wisdom, that I received from a man who's sitting there and laughing, but former Councillor Lloyd Sherry. And it's advice that he gave me on 2 occasions. And I want to give that advice to this new council. Not so much the veterans, they know it already, but certainly to the new ones. And the first part was, whatever you do, keep your independence. Be independent at all times. Right, Lloyd? And the second one is just as important. It is that when you get up in the morning and you look in the mirror, just say to yourself, my integrity is still intact. I hope you will all do that. Congratulations to all of you. Best of luck, and we'll be seeing you. Thank you.
The next man is someone who has dedicated probably 50-plus years to the city of Nanaimo. He's been the mayor for 2 terms. He has spent 30 or more years on different boards. I had the pleasure of meeting Mayor Rattan when I served on a board with him with Tourism Nanaimo when I first moved to Nanaimo permanently, and I have all the respect in the world for John, and he has worked tirelessly for this community. Mayor Rattan, please come up and accept a small gift from us. By the way, it's a 1978 bathtub poster.
If it was, I signed it.
John, thank you very, very much.
Yeah, just a few minutes.
Now, if I could just ask George Anderson if he could bring up a copy of the speech for me. Now that I just want to say, acknowledge that we are on the traditional territory of the First Nations. And, you know, I was so proud of my relationship with Chief Viola Wise, followed by Chief Doug White, who's joined us tonight, and now Chief John Wesley, a good friend and someone we worked together. And thank you, Chief, for that. You know, it's all about relationships, and I was so proud of all the good things that we've accomplished by working together. And out here, I can't see, I know former Mayor Gary Corpin is here as well, and it's a delight as well to see that former Mayor Graham Roberts is here. And I just want to make a little comment about Graham. Graham served some 35 years ago. It's hard to believe now because he's still a young man. But you know, he's been a tireless ambassador for the city of Nanaimo. Whenever there's been an issue or a problem, you knew that he was going to send a letter in whenever he was able to, and was always complimentary towards Nanaimo, the benefit of the community, and what a wonderful place this is to be. And so, you know, he just was a great supporter, and I just want to say thank you, Graham, for what you've done over the years. It's been truly appreciated. You know, I do want to also thank the people of Nanaimo. It's been 6 years that I've served as the mayor, and I can assure you that it was a great honor and a huge privilege, and one that I'll remember for the rest of my life. I want to thank those members of council that are not only re-elected, but those that served with me before. Thank them for their time and their commitment and their dedication to the community. And lastly, to the new council, I want to say, and to Mayor McKay, good luck with your deliberations. I know you're going to be committed to the job. You'll understand the challenges you're facing. I know you'll all rise to it. And thank you very much and good luck.
And Mayor Rattan, you'll know that you are now number one in my speed dial. I will be calling. So, down to business. Good evening. I'd like to acknowledge with great respect that we are on the traditional territories of the Nanaimo First Nations. I'd like to begin by extending my gratitude to several people. First, to my family, who were my foundation during the past 3 years, and especially the months leading up to November 15th. To the volunteers and supporters who worked so hard on my campaign. To so many in Nanaimo who cheered me on and helped and encouraged me to just work harder. And finally, to the more than 21,000 people in the community who took the time to register support for a candidate. While I'm pleased that a good number of you chose me as mayor, I'm more pleased that your participation pushed voter turnout past 2011 by more than 30%. Thank you. That number speaks volumes to me about Nanaimo today. Candidates and their campaign supporters, along with a diverse representation of citizens, have all impressed me with their huge energy and pride. They are examples of the many passionate people I've met and spoken with as a councillor, and in increasing numbers over the past few weeks. It has been both invigorating and energizing to meet so many with so much hope for their community. Today it seems the people of Nanaimo have a renewed spirit and a new desire to work together. It's with this energy that council needs to capture and realize a new vision for Nanaimo. During my campaign, I outlined an agenda that I'm asking council to adopt as part of their work plan. They've already signaled they're ready to get started on several initiatives. To begin with, we will resolve the issues surrounding Colliery Dams quickly and conclusively. We'll find answers to questions surrounding the Vancouver Island Conference Centre. We will establish terms of reference for a program and services review. We will streamline and speed up the permitting and development process. Review the need and effectiveness of the city's committees and commissions, and ensure we create a sustainable plan for the delivery of city services. But it's not just the 9 of us up here who will get the work done. It's the citizens of Nanaimo whose hopes and dreams for their family's future will guide us and drive decision-making on these issues and many more over the next 4 years. It's collaborative strength, moving in a direction dedicated by community and driven by your mayor and council that will deliver a successful future for all of us. That collaboration includes the expertise of our city's staff and leadership, whose hard work every day will help us realize this vision. We count on their commitment to continue efforts to become a more competitive and sustainable city. I want to pause here and recognize the work of our emergency services personnel over the weekend when Nanaimo was struck by 2 structure fires. Sadly, one family has suffered the unimaginable loss of a child. Many lives have been upset, and our community services are there to support. While our gratitude goes to the training, expertise, and preparedness of our firefighters for their valiant work, our thoughts and prayers lie soulfully with the victims. We're starting new jobs today, and I welcome each councillor: Bill Bestwick, Diane Brennan, Gordon Fuller, Jerry Hong, Jim Kipp, Wendy Pratt, Ian Thorpe, and Bill Yoakum, to join in a mutual effort to set a new course and achieve new goals. Let's set deadlines for this term to start implementing the plans needed to move ahead and start to fulfill Nanaimo's promise and potential. Each and every one of this council have been selected because the community knows they have knowledge, skills, and experience to bring to our government, and they are, quite simply, special. These are very exciting times for our community. I thank you all once again for speaking with such a loud voice to help choose change, real positive, bold change, by choosing new leadership. Now let's get to work. Thank you very much. The first item of business will be the appointments to the Regional District of Nanaimo Board. Staff's recommendation that Council, 1, appoint 7 directors to the Regional District of Nanaimo Board, 2, assign 5 votes to each of 6 directors and 4 votes to 1 director, and 3, appoint and establish a schedule for primary and secondary alternate directors. Do I have a mover?
I would so move items 1, 2, and 3.
Seconded.
All those in favor? Oh, pardon me. Pardon me, first faux pas. Each with an assigned vote weight of 5 will be myself, Mayor McKay, Councillor Bestwick, Councillor Kipp, Councillor Yoakum, Councillor Pratt, and Councillor Hong. Councillor Thorpe with an assigned vote weight of 4, and Councillor Brennan and Fuller as primary and secondary alternate directors on a monthly rotating basis, starting with Councillor Brennan as a primary alternate director for the month of December 2014. Is there any discussion? I call the vote. All those in favor? All those against? The motion passes. Second item of business, appointments to the Vancouver Island Regional Library Board. It is recommended that Council appoint Councillor Brennan as the primary and Councillor Pratt as the alternate to the Vancouver Island Regional Library Board. Is there a mover? So moved. Is there a seconder? Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor? All those against? The motion passes. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming tonight. I just have to say one last thing. To Mr. Taylor and all of those folks that like to come talk to us, I regret to inform you that there is no question period tonight. I call for adjournment. So moved. Meeting adjourned.